they are leading. The third seat where they're trailing is Hassan. Initially, of course, in the postal ballots, we saw a little bit of an upper hand, but after that, he has been trailing, and all eyes, of course, will be on that particular seat. Meanwhile, I'm here at the Adi Chunchanagiri Mutt. Mr. Kumaraswamy, of course, meeting the tops here from the Mutt, Nirmalanda Swamiji here. He's right now inside the chambers. We'll try and get a word from him because he's currently leading from the Mandya constituency as well. A lot happening in the state of Karnataka. While the exit polls have predicted once again a good number for the BJP, the Congress is hopeful of managing at least about 12 or more. That's what most of the leaders have been saying. But right now the numbers are stuck around the 8 to 9 mark. Whether they can improve that tally through the course of the day, that remains to be seen. But of course, the BJP has been hoping that they do really well to compensate on any losses in other states in Karnataka. So all eyes, of course, will be on multiple constituencies here. And Bengaluru Rural, which has been a bastion and the sole seat that was won by the Congress party last time. Just an update for our viewers that DK Suresh, the brother of Mr. DK Shivkumar, is currently trailing from that particular constituency.
Right. Deepak, thank you very much for joining us. I'm also being joined by Abhishek at this point. Abhishek, with what's happening at Baramati, that's one of the questions that everybody really had. Will it continue to be the power place that it has been for the Sharad Pawar's family? It may stay with the family, but really, is it going to change hands? There seems to be at least initial leads for Sunetra Pawar.
The initial leads were definitely for Sunetra Pawar, but as the round progresses now, what we are coming to know is that again, Supriya Sule is leading, and that's why it's a tough fight. It cannot be predictable at whether Supriya Sule or Sunetra Pawar. And remember, Baramati is one of the high-profile seats, and Baramati has always voted for the Pawar family. Right from 2014, 2019, this is term Supriya Sule is contesting from there. But now the political dynamics have changed after the split in NCP, and we have seen senior Pawar fighting versus the junior Pawar. And definitely at one side we have Ajit Pawar with the political developmental agenda, who is a deputy chief minister, and on the other side we have Supriya Sule riding on the sympathy wave for Sharad Pawar after the split of the party. And definitely it's a big challenge for the people of Baramati who have already voted, and now whom they have voted for is something we are closely monitoring. But as we speak, currently the lead has changed, and now Supriya Sule is leading from Baramati and Sunetra Pawar is trailing. But definitely this is just initial leads. We will have to wait till the afternoon to get the clarity, and whether Supriya Sule gets a third term or will there be a surprise of Sunetra Pawar winning the seat is something that needs to be closely monitored. Back to you.
Right, Abhishek, thank you very much for joining us. So, Ruhi, what's your sense you're getting from Maharashtra? It's more than just which side is going to win, which alliance is going to win. It's also about which alliance the people manage to trust through despite all the shifts and change that's happened.
Right, I think it is a bit of a survival battle for both the factions of the NCP and the Shiv Sena, because they've both taken huge risks and it's a gamble for both of them. It would also set the tone for the assembly elections that are due later in the year in the state, which are going to be far more complex because of these factions. So I think Maharashtra, that way, I've said it from day one, it's a big khichdi. One doesn't know what's going to happen there, what's happening there. And I think even some seats like Baramati, for instance, it's going to go down to the wire. These are going to be seats for which we have to wait for the election commission results to be able to tell what's happening. The other thing about Maharashtra is that it would, both the BJP as well as the Congress, or mostly the BJP, will have to think about who they have aligned with and whether that alliance is working for them. Because, at the end of the day, Shiv Sena, the Thackeray legacy is important, right? And the BJP has always been a natural Shiv Sena ally. Now, the Shiv Sena is split into two, and then NCP has been more of a Congress ally, but suddenly the BJP has one faction of it. So these are causing a bit of confusion, even ideological confusion, as far as Maharashtra is concerned. And the BJP will have to think about how it wants to go forward in Maharashtra.
All right. In fact, I'm told we are also being joined by Charu Pragya. I'm joined by more guests as well. I'll introduce them in a bit. Charu Pragya, You've been waiting for a while now. Charu, give us the sense, initial leads that are coming in. Maharashtra, let's start with that. Sunetra Pawar may be leading at places, but largely the battle is also about which alliance manages to push through with all the changes that have happened.
Absolutely. Good morning. Now, this is the day when we are celebrating the best of our democracy. We are waiting to see election results, and I believe it's going to be a thumping majority win for the NDA, and we're going to create history with this. Maharashtra, everybody is taking a look at, because this is the first time there are many, many political parties in the fray, and some which are very new because older political parties have split. But one thing remains very clear. The work which has been done in our country in the last 10 years and the vision our Prime Minister has for our country for the next 25 years is what is driving this election. And that is the only thing that is going to matter at the end of the day for most of the voters. So in spite of this discussion being, what will happen with the newly formed NDA alliance, etc., I don't think there'll be any surprises. In fact, I believe that we'll be beating very comfortably our tally in 2019, and we are looking forward to a great next 5 years.
All right. Charu, I'm also being joined by Anand Paranjpe, who's a NCP leader, as well as Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay. All right, I'm told Anand is not there. We are also being joined by Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, as well as Swati Malik. Thank you very much for joining us. Swati, to you, with the initial leads that are emerging, let's also look at what seems to be the numbers that BJP is getting, at least what's being told about BJP and the NDA. Do you really look at the prospect of what Congress or the India Alliance could have done to this election vis-a-vis what really has happened?
Comment on what we could have done better, because only the starting trends right now, and even if you go by just by the starting trends, what I see is that India is 205 plus and NDA is rather 277 plus is the trend that I was seeing. So even if you see these numbers, the whole narrative that was created by the Prime Minister, by the BJP about 400 par and this is going to be historic, etc. Right now, they're not even matching up to what it was in 2019. So you can see the narrative fail. You can only by the trend so far. Although, like I said, my caveat is that this is comment right now. This is too early to go by what we could have done better. But looking at the trends, the narrative created by the Prime Minister, whether all those gimmicks of him going into, the meditation zone that he goes into with his camera, or other things like that, the whole, the divisive politics that they have been playing. Whether he says that, okay, I will not talk about Hindu-Muslims, and then in the next speech he talks about Hindu-Muslims. When you see all that, so in these trends, in these results, we realize that voter is not, we cannot take the voter for granted. Just like we failed in 2014 and 19 to create our dent. In 2014-19, we somehow could not convince our voters about our manifesto, about what our vision is for the country. But now in 2024, we can see, even by the trends, how from 91 it is almost double right now. So we are already doing better, and I am sure it is only going to get better from here, and we will form the majority.
All right, at least Uttar Pradesh for now, Congress may have some relief. It seems to be having at least the leads that are coming in for the India bloc at this point seems to be good. Clyde Castro, okay, we seem. All right, we seem to have some audio issues with Clyde Castro at this point. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, what really unfolds with this election? What would be the key takeaways?
Well, at the moment, it's very difficult to say what are the key takeaways because it's still a counting in process. About half an hour ago, when I was at a different location on the same program, I pointed out that the trends, what was happening since morning was beginning to reverse, and that is what has happened now. We need trends of only about 20 seats, and the entire NDA is just at hovering around 300 mark, short by 25%.
And largely by postal ballots.
And no. By now, there would be a fair amount of EVMs. That is when the trend reversal began. about half an hour, 40 minutes ago, is when the EVM votes started getting added into the trends. So since then, there is a reversal of process. So at the moment, out of 543 seats, just about we need the trends of only about 20 more. Out of the 510 or 520 odd constituencies where we have the trends from, the NDA is leading in only 303, which is 25% less of its target of 400. 303 if for the entire NDA means that the BJP. The big question is it going to slip below 272, a clear majority on its own, or whether it is going to be above? It clearly at the moment is not going to win 303, which won in 2019. So definitely it is, if this trend is maintained, then definitely it is it's a decline in the performance of the BJP. It's not an enhanced mandate, but it is a declined mandate if this actually becomes a result.
So just a couple of points, to add to what Mr. Mukhopadhyay said. So first of all, yes, these are trends. That's why I'm very cautious about what I'm saying, because these are trends. There are seats that are probably somebody's leading by a margin of 1,000 votes, which can just reverse in no time. So
and that's why you're having such close
battles. And there are states like that, which are like Maharashtra, for instance, a state with 48 seats has close battles. But this 400 par, 400 par, is something I don't think the BJP also thought was realistic. I mean, come on, 400 par is really a huge figure. It was more to enthuse the cadres. I think the whole idea was to enthuse the cadres and workers and to make it seem like, to give them some kind of enthusiasm to work towards. But if the BJP, even if they win and they form the government, this 400 par is going to haunt them, because they will be taunted for talking about it and not being able to reach it. So they only have themselves to blame for that.
They'll also be taunted if they do not touch 303.
Right.
People will all the time point out 2019
but
you won.
who are they going to be taunted by though?
There will be a stronger opposition.
No, and also I think the BJP again has itself to blame. If you're coming back with whatever mandate in the third term, you're still winning, which means the mandate is for you. But if you talk about large numbers and you don't get those, then you become a bit of a laughing point, right?
No, can you understand what it would mean, if the NDA has a majority, but the BJP does not have? So that means that the BJP is dependent on one or two allies, lower than 272. If then it's dependent on at least one or two allies for majority all the time.
Okay. All right. I'm also being told at this point that we have Clyde Crasto with us. I believe we have been able to get through to you. Your audio is all ready. You can hear us loud and clear. Clyde Crasto, what would you see as the emerging trends with Maharashtra? It seems Baramati at present, even as we speak, and it's been for a while now, that Sunetra Pawar really is on the lead. And as it may be too early, Clyde, but it's still a lead.
I'm getting real-time updates. No, I'm getting real-time updates.
Okay,
I don't know where are you getting it from. The
Sule
real-time
leading.
update is
Yes,
that
you're right.
Sule
We've just got the real-time lead as well. So Supriya Sule is now leading. Correct. You're right.
Yeah. She's been leading for a while now.
So that's shifted now. It's Supriya Sule who's leading.
Numbers. Yeah. So in Maharashtra, if you see the numbers now, the India Alliance is leading in on 27 seats, and 21 is for the NDA. So that's what we've been trying to say all this while. Look at the exit polls and look at everything. But what has happened specifically in Maharashtra, if you're going to talk about it, is the people are upset with the dirty politics played by Bharatiya Janata Party. Breaking parties, breaking families. And I've been on record on your channel and other channels that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to pay for what they have done, is to bring in the Eknath Shinde camp and the Ajit Pawar into their fold. If they had got alone, they would have probably done much better. But they brought these people, and why I say so, these are the same people the Honorable Prime Minister called naturally corrupt party, accused Ajit Pawar ji of 70,000 crore scams. I was defending Ajit Pawar ji when he was with us, and I'm still saying it. It was accused by the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders. They accused all the leaders of Eknath Shinde camp, and then when they came into their fold, they were not talking. But the people realized that if they were going to call them corrupt and bring them into their fold, why should we vote for them? And this is what is showing. Secondly, I just heard somebody saying that, if they don't touch 303 like the last time also, people are going to talk against the Bharatiya Janata Party for sure. But let me tell you one thing. Across the country, every constituency, people said, vote for Narendra Modi ji. Don't look at the candidate, vote for Narendra Modi ji. So if the Bharatiya Janata Party does not get the 303 that they did last time, or they even go down, forget 400 par. 400 par is going to be a nightmare for the Bharatiya Janata Party. That slogan is going to be like a nightmare for every BJP cadre or
Clyde
BJP leader who said 400 par.
Let me
That's
just
not
stop
going
you
to
here.
happen. One more
It's
thing, let me finish.
interesting.
Yeah.
So the market, Clyde Trasto, give me a few minutes. Clyde Trasto, give me a few minutes. It's interesting. It's interesting because markets have literally been on a high, and we are now reporting that markets seem to be on a decline.
That's understandable, right? I think the exit polls put the markets on the high, and exit polls are usually a little exaggerated in any case. So
True. So markets on the decline.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
not,
say.
You know, it's not a steep run, a bull run as the exit polls had expected, but largely people had anticipated that there may be a decline in the markets as the voting, as the counting begins to
during counting, when the counting is in progress, markets, it's natural for it to be a little shaky. It's only when the results come out that you'll know whether there's an actual decline or an uptick.
You know, the point is that the markets are definitely going to look at the poor performance of the BJP-led NDA as a bad sign, because then it's political instability. Because political stability has got associated with Mr. Modi and the government for the last 10 years. So anything else which is outside of Mr. Modi would suddenly, everybody is going to be uncertain. Who will be the Prime Minister?
Okay.
That will be the first thing. For instance, the NDA is down below 300 for the first time. The India bloc is up over 200. We do not know what will happen in the next 2 hours. We have had some dramatic changes taking place through the counting process. Numerous, elections I can count, where we have been in the studios and seeing everything getting reversed.
And let me tell our viewers,
to be cautious about saying anything till you have final numbers.
No, and we have not even started talking about the close contest.
Even this does not mean that the India bloc is doing a good, putting up a good show.
These are trends, and let's be cautious about trends.
True, and even as we start looking at constituencies, there are some constituencies
too early,
very close battles.
Is changing.
So,
yeah, Baramati has been changing by the minute. So it's.
Ajit Yashwant also joins us. Ajit, you just heard Clyde Trasto. How much of what he has said do you agree with? I mean, you both don't see each other eye to eye when it comes to the political line, but on the counting day, how do you counter what he's saying?
Personally, that this is too early to comment on any results of any seats or what scenario is going to get upward. But I feel that in next couple of hours, things will be more clear, and there will be a lot of surprises from Baramati as well. So we are just going according to what the trails that we are getting at this moment. And as you rightly said, every minute you can see the results are changing. So whatever updates that we are getting are just changing minute to minute. So we just need to wait for some more time. And I'm sure that with the national president, Shri Ajit Pawarji, we will be performing in a very good state of Maharashtra. And we'll be there getting winning seats in Maharashtra as well.
Okay, Ram Pratap Singh, also the national spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party, joins us right now. Heartening for the India bloc at this point as results emerge from Uttar Pradesh?
Good morning. Yes, it's a very encouraging start. And certainly one thing stands established, that there is no pan-India wave in favor of BJP, and all the hype about 400 plus, etc., stands debunked. And also what the exit polls were trying to predict for last 2 days, and it stands challenged now. And each state, as I said earlier in my several discourses, is behaving the way it was expected to. And similarly, for UP, if I have to talk, that it's certainly very encouraging, because the issues on ground were real. And the government of the day and the BJP just weren't willing to listen to the problems of the people, the rampant unemployment, the absolute poverty in so many districts in UP. And that's what people are now come out and voted against the BJP. Over to you.
That's interesting, Ram Pratap Singh. Ruhi, do you really think, and is this the truth, issues that people would often talk about on the ground were not really reflected in the campaigns and the politics that played out?
Look, I would repeat what I said. This election for the BJP was about whether you want Narendra Modi back or not. So whatever the mandate is, they should understand the mandate themselves, because they were not talking about local issues. They are always... See, there is a limit. I've said this earlier. There is a limit to how much people will vote just for PM Modi and how much they want to vote for the local candidate. And there are many, many people in Uttar Pradesh that the BJP put up who were unpopular. I can tell you Smriti Irani was very unpopular. Sakshi Maharaj is very unpopular. Hema Malini is very unpopular. There's only so much that you can do under Narendra Modi's name. So it could be perhaps a lesson for the BJP going forward that elections in Modi's name will have limitations. People want to see what the immediate MPs are doing. Just very quickly, I'm looking at numbers in Haryana as well, and both Haryana and Maharashtra go to polls this year.
Yes.
Very, very interesting numbers. Congress doing well in Haryana. BJP will have some serious rethink to do in Haryana. Again, the BJP has really squandered the state away in the last, I don't know what it has been doing in Haryana, especially with the leadership, etc. So both states, BJP will have a lot of re-strategizing and rethinking to do.
There's also another important thing which we have to see. 1/3 of BJP's candidates were those who came from other parties. So it created tremendous resentment within its own ranks. You know, the people who have grown vertically within the BJP over the last 2-3 decades, everybody aspires to be nominated to fight elections. But if you don't, and somebody comes from outside, you know, lateral entry, what they call, in politics, it's extremely upsetting for the cadre and the people who have come up. So that's another problem.
Charu Pragya, you heard both the panelists here with us, Mr. Nilanjan Mukhodjay. All right, we have Vinita Hariharan with us. So, Vinita, I believe you heard both what Ruhi as well as Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay spoke. Do you believe, one, that there are possibly limitations to fighting an election under the banner name of Prime Minister Modi vis-a-vis what the MPs would be, or is that a no-gamer at all? Vinita Hariharan.
Good morning. So definitely, I mean, we've never fought the elections just on the basis of... Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, Vinita, since we have this audio delay, let that just get fixed. I'm told we're also getting a response from the Election Commission of India. Let's just quickly listen in.
So that जितने भी लोग जानना चाहते हैं, देखना चाहते हैं, उन्हें कोई परेशानी ना हो. और सभी आरओस को जो 542 कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में इस समय काउंटिंग करा रहे हैं, जहां करीब 65,000 से ऊपर की टेबल्स लगी हुई हैं, हर जगह में उनको कहा गया है कि पोलिंग एजेंट्स को और कैंडिडेट्स को निश्चित रूप से बैठने दें, पूरी पारदर्शिता के साथ काउंटिंग करें, जो रूल बुक है उसका पालन अक्षरते करें, मतलब एक भी वायलेशन नहीं होनी चाहिए, अदरवाइज खैर नहीं है. यानी जो रूल बुक है उसका पालन करें, पारदर्शिता से पालन करें, कैंडिडेट्स को और उनके एजेंट्स को हर जगह में शामिल रखें, सीसीटीवी फुटेज 24/7 लेते रहें हर प्रक्रिया का, ताकि पूरी पारदर्शिता बनी रहे. तो जैसे वोट डालने में मेहनत की, उसी तरीके से आज यहाँ भी पूरी पारदर्शिता के साथ वो सब लोग काम कर रहे हैं.
सर, अगर किसी तरह की गड़बड़ी की रिपोर्ट मिलती है तो किस तरह का एक्शन आप लेते हैं?
हम लोग खुद यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, हमारे सारे सेंट्रल ऑब्जर्वर्स बैठे हुए हैं. हर काउंटिंग सेंटर में एक सेंट्रल ऑब्जर्वर है जो वहाँ बैठा हुआ है, वो सर्टिफाई करेगा रिजल्ट को हर राउंड के, उसी के बाद डिक्लेयर होगा. हमारा एजेंट है वो, हमारे मतलब आईज एंड ईयर्स वहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, हम उनके सबके कॉन्टेक्ट में हैं. और
Okay, that was the Election Commission of India speaking.
If I can just come in for a second. I think the Election Commission of India hasn't exactly covered itself in glory in these elections at all, or even in the last elections. The elections on the ground are fair, are conducted very well, but what the election commissioners sitting in Delhi do and turn a blind eye to as far as the ruling party is concerned really undermines the work done by the polling officers on the field. So the Election Commission also needs to think a little bit about the objectivity, the fairness that the Election Commission was associated with after Mr. T.N. Seshan came and after the Election Commission was given some teeth.
All right, that's also something that the opposition has been claiming a lot. Vinita Hariharan, do you want to respond to what Ruhi just said and also to what the earlier statements were about what seems to be parachuting leaders and bringing them into party as leaders, as candidates, vis-a-vis the brand Modi, as it were?
Yes, so as I was speaking earlier, the brand Modi is definitely there. It is Modi's Vikas agenda, Modi ji's Vikas agenda on the ground, which was being actually, propagated and which was used as a campaign plank, not so much of, the personality per se. Of course, Modi ji's personality was, was there all across because he's a 24/7 Karyakarta, as we all know it. So he's there whenever a candidate needs him, wherever he's required. He was there across the country doing road shows and campaigns, definitely. But nevertheless, that doesn't undermine the local leadership or doesn't undermine local leaders on the ground, because they are the ones who translate these programs and the Vikas agenda on the ground. If it is not for their efficacy, it would never have been translated to the voters and how they are voting today. So I don't think it's just a pure, Modi leadership alone, but it's Modi was along with all the local leaders. So it's always been a double-engine philosophy that we've adopted. So I don't think it's just, blindly following just one central leadership. It's always been a combined effort, and it's always been a federal cooperative federalism structure which has been followed across. So we still maintain that.
Okay. Interesting. One of the conversations that one can really have in this election is also the party cadres.
Yes.
What seems to be the reality of BJP party cadres vis-a-vis what seems to be the reality of Congress party cadres, and then you have the role of regional parties that seem to have even much stronger party cadres than what presently in many places Congress would boast. So we'll come to that in a bit. I'm being joined by Nikhil right now, who is at the AICC headquarters. Yes.
We finally have trends of 543. And at the moment, the NDA, this figure, is below 300. So if this is actually maintained, then there would be a certain amount of an uncertainty. Obviously, there will be a NDA government, but then the BJP is not going to be getting 272 on its own. So I think, then that is going to change the inner dynamics of the NDA. It will not be the NDA of 2014 to 2024, where you have a dominant prime minister not really giving much political respect to the allies. They really had NDA meetings between 2019 and 2024. Last year in 23, when they had the first meeting of the NDA, that was after a long, long time.
Let's see whether this really is.
These are trends.
True.
But at the moment, we must record that we have complete trends of 543, and that the NDA combined is not touching 300.
Okay, even as we have our reporters on the ground, but I'm also being told at this point that Kangana Ranaut is leading in Mandi.
I think it was widely expected, though some people said that she had turned out to be a very unpopular person. But Himachal Pradesh, in any case, the BJP was expected to do well in a parliamentary elections. They lost the last assembly elections. But yes, for Prime Ministerial elections, Mr. Modi has a good draw there. We cannot forget the fact that as National General Secretary, when he was shifted out from Gujarat in the 90s, between 95 and 97, 98, Mr. Modi was stationed in Chandigarh, and among the states which he was handling for the BJP, Himachal Pradesh was one of them. So that is his political terrain than anything else.
That's true, but even as we are speaking about Kangana Ranaut, who's again, as you mentioned, a celebrity who's been parachuted into electoral politics by the BJP. On the other side, you have Vikramaditya. So again, somebody
there are always, the fact that film stars have always done well. You have had Hema Malini winning seats from Mathura. You have had Jayaprada previously winning from Rampur, where, nowhere kind of a place as far as Jayaprada was concerned. She was actually, if there was anybody who has been paratrooped, was Hema Malini and Jayaprada.
And Hema Malini is, of course, now quite a successful MP, if I may say, in terms of the number of times she's elected. Let's just stop this. Just give us few. That's another thing that we will be discussing. But give us few minutes. I'm being joined by Nikhil as well as Mohit. Nikhil joins us from the Congress headquarters, and Mohit joins us from the BJP headquarters. Nikhil, or let's just go across. Okay, Nikhil, let's go across to you first. Nikhil, what's the sense you're getting? Is there any action? Is there any laddus? Is there any mithais? Is there any puris? Is there any chola bhaturas? Let's get to the point first. It's breakfast time.
So, Sneha, the energy is something which can be felt from the AICC headquarter, which is the headquarter of the Congress party, and there are couple of setups which can be seen here. I would like my camera person to show you in the very first place. This is the first setup which is being shown here. Sir, थोड़ा सा आगे जाइए, एक बार अंदर जाके दिखाइए क्या अंदर चल रहा है. So these are not just the setups for the media personals, but also for the workers who are arriving here. And we can say that good setup has been done in view of the heat wave which are currently prevailing in the capital city. So this media room and the workers room as well completely filled with these people, and there are multiple screens as well which are set up. By and large we can see the presence of the media. So this is the hall number 1. Sir, दूसरी जगह भी जाना है, पीछे को आइए. So we are going to show you the other setup as well, where the workers of the Congress party are present in a huge number, or in decent number is what we can say, and the arrangements for the breakfast is equally present here. But energy is what something we were mentioning earlier as well, Sneha, that this is something that can be felt right here at the place. The workers are gradually, they have started coming in at the AICC headquarters. They are still very much hopeful about the win, although the results which are coming in, these are just the initial trends. And this is the picture. This is the second setup which we are showing you from inside the AICC headquarters. The workers of the Congress party can be seen here. There are different spaces which have been made to see the election results in real time. And every time, whenever the India Alliance leaders say show a huge win or a decent win, they start clapping and be cheering for the Congress party. Even the shank is something which is being blown out here. These are the workers who can be seen here, and all these are the workers of the Congress party. विजय शंखनाद है. एक बात बताइए, आप शंख लेकर के आए, शंखनाद की बात कर रहे हैं, अभी तो इनिशियली ट्रेंड है ये. 2024 पतन निश्चित. इस तानाशाह का अंत करने के लिए एरशाद भी 5 महीना पहले. Okay, so we are going to show you another setup, which is the last setup, and this is the indoor setup which we are showing you. सर एक बार आप अंदर आ जाइए, थोड़ा सा दिखा दीजिए कितने लोग बैठे हुए. So this is the third setup which can be seen here. So all the arrangements have been made by the Congress party headquarters to make some of the decent setups for the workers in particular, because it is the scorching heat condition outside. So the indoor setups have equally been made here. But to talk about the figures in particular, whatever the numbers which are coming, these are just the initial trend. But there are 327 seats where the Congress party is contesting, and the direct contest between the Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress party is on 173 seats. So those particular seats becomes equally important here. But as we were mentioning in the very first place, that not just the laddus and the breakfast thing, but also the energy and vibe is something which can be felt right here at the AICC headquarters, because the workers who have arrived here, they are still very much positive and hopeful about the better results from their side. Back to you.
Right, thank you, Nikhil. Mohit, you're at the BJP headquarters. Take us through what's happening there.
Well, you see, BJP workers have been strictly asked the central leadership, the top leadership, not to celebrate early, and we have seen that how the scenario has changed. Now, it's a very tough fight that is being given by India Bloc to the NDA. Right now, these are the scenes at the BJP headquarters. This is the media shed over here, and Sneha, I'll show you the scenes over here. Now, very interesting posters have been put up over here at the media stand. You can see that how Prime Minister Narendra Modi's picture flagging of Vande Bharat has been put over here. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's picture at the Ayodhya's consecration, Ram Mandir consecration ceremony has also been put over here. So this has been the model of the BJP, and PM has been talking about Vikas bhi, Virasat bhi. So that is the part over here where the BJP is focusing on. But we know that how the initial trends are showing a very tough fight between the NDA and the India Bloc, and that is why perhaps the BJP has clearly told their workers that wait till 1 or 2 p.m. where the things will be clear, and after that the celebration might take place if BJP gets the majority. Now, what happens after it? The BJP is planning that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will come to BJP headquarters extension at around 7 p.m. and then he will be addressing party workers along with BJP President JP Nadda. Now, that all will happen if BJP wins these elections. But given the fact that how we have seen in UP, Samajwadi Party is doing extremely well.
Before we get into that mode,
to the allies of the
Right. Thank you very much, Mohit. Thank you for joining us, giving us a sense from the BJP headquarters. Thank you, Nikhil, for joining us. Will it be fair to say, Ruhi, with the early trends that it's not like a sweep that BJP was hoping, that NDA was hoping, or is it still premature to say that?
It's obviously premature to say anything because these are early trends. But if these numbers are anything to go by, of course, it's not a sweep by the BJP that it was expecting. And I think Congress has good reason to celebrate. Look, I mean, obviously, for a party to win just 100 seats is not ideal for a party that's a pan-India party and that has been, in power for most of independent India's elections. But having said that, it reached such a low point that anything significantly more than what it won in 2019, I think the Congress has good reason to celebrate, at least for the party. It's not plateauing, it's looking up.
Okay, I'm being told Clyde Crasto wants to speak in at this point. Clyde, go ahead.
Well, like I said, I was trying to tell you earlier, we've been talking about BJP, and they said even if they don't get 303, it's going to be a big deal, So that's a fact. But I want to stress this point very clearly, is that during the election campaign, anywhere you went, they only spoke about that vote for Modi ji. The vote should go to Modi ji and not the candidate. So the point here is, if BJP goes anything under what they won last time, that means it is a clear mandate against Narendra Modi ji. Because if they had done all the work, if Modi ji was the person that they wanted the votes for, they should have crossed, like they said, 400. Ab ki baar 400 par. So anything that is under 300 or 303 that they got last time, and if the trends are showing right now, because I'm seeing some other channel, I don't want to mention it on your channel because it's a different channel altogether. They are showing much higher numbers for India Alliance compared to NDA. So if that happens, and if they don't get the numbers, then it is a clear mandate against Mr. Modi, because India has voted against him. That's very clear right now. Because now slowly, if you see on different channels, and I'm reading, now the spokespersons of the BJP are saying, no, it's not just Modi ji, it's also the local candidate. But I have been campaigning on the road, I have been giving speeches, and I've been listening to other speeches, and they only kept saying in every kind of election rally that you have to vote for Modi ji. For the moment, don't think of the candidate, it's for Modi ji. So if the win is for Modi ji, then I'm sure the loss also should be for Modi ji. They shouldn't put up Nadda ji's photographs now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, let me just get in. I think we have Vinita Hariharan still with us from BJP. Do you want to make a quick response to Clyde Crasto?
Well, I think the parties can speak for themselves and about their campaign rather than talk about our campaign and our strategies, because if you see the early trend, it's just about not even 10 a.m. and we are still leading. So, I mean, Congress can definitely celebrate because they've gone from nowhere to somewhere. So, which is definitely encouraging also for the BJP, because we need opposition. We don't want unopposed voices in the parliament, definitely. So, we are, we encourage opposition. We encourage voices from the opposition. So, but definitely these are early trends. So, let them hold their horses and let them not criticize, the leading party's campaign, and let them reflect upon themselves of how they could, how they've reached so far, whatever it has been. Let them introspect, but not comment on our strategies and our campaigns. So whatever is our campaign has been successful so far, and let's see how it goes from here.
We almost got a sense of what the rhetoric would be from the opposition and the ruling, if at all this trend continues.
The BJP saying that it would want an opposition in parliament, and that it would respect opposition, is very good for the country and for democracy as a whole. This fact about local candidates, blaming them, it's a very typical kind of. We have seen enough leader-centric parties in India. Mr. Modi is not the first one to be leading. The individual becomes more party than the organization. We've had Rajiv Gandhi period, we have had the Indira Gandhi period, we had the Nehru period. It's always been the case. The victory is the leaders, the defeat is the candidates. Always.
I just very quickly, because we mentioned how the BJP is talking about a healthy opposition is good. I'm interested in knowing what's happening in Delhi, because you put a sitting chief minister in jail. Does that have repercussions for the BJP, or does it not matter?
Oh, but since you mentioned that, do we still have Kanimori leading in Tuticorin? Is that the lead for Kanimori? That will be interesting to see. Because initially, according to what we were getting initially, Kanimori was leading in Tuticorin. So maybe if our team could just check on that aspect as well. And I'm told that we also have reactions that have been lined up, reactions that have come in from different leaders. Let's just quickly listen into some key ones.
Total confidence we have. Comfortably, we are going to win. From our party, all the three candidates, not only our candidates, three candidates, from BJP also in Karnataka, minimum, our BJP friends also will get minimum 20 seats.
पिछली 2 बार से रिकॉर्ड तोड़ बहुमत से पूर्वी दिल्ली जीती थी भाजपा ने। इस बार क्या उम्मीद?
इस बार भी जनता का भरपूर आशीर्वाद और प्यार मिलने जा रहा है।
इस बार जिस तरीके से गठबंधन हुआ, क्या चुनौती दे पाया वो इस बार?
वैसे तो आज पता लग जाएगा, लेकिन जिस तरह से 81 दिनों में जनता ने आशीर्वाद दिया है, समर्थन दिया है, प्यार दिया है नरेंद्र मोदी जी के 10 वर्षों के कार्यों को लेकर के, मुझे लगता है कि दिल्ली में 7 सीटों पर कमल खिलने जा रहा है। एनडीए 400 पार होगा और नरेंद्र मोदी जी तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बने।
अगर पूर्वी दिल्ली सीट की बात करें, उनका जो इतिहास है मिला जुला रहा है, कभी कांग्रेस तो कभी बीजेपी, लेकिन 2 बार से बीजेपी त्रिकोणीय जो मुकाबला हुआ उसमें जीतती गई है। इस बार दोनों पार्टियों ने गठबंधन किया, आम आदमी पार्टी हो या कांग्रेस, और इनके लिए कहीं ना कहीं मजबूत गढ़ भी रहा है कांग्रेस के लिए एक समय पे पूर्वी दिल्ली। क्या लगता है, कांग्रेस इस बार ज्यादा समर्थन दे पाएगी? उनके जो कार्यकर्ता निकल पाए, समर्थन उतना दिया जितना देना चाहिए था या नहीं?
मुझे लगता है आम आदमी पार्टी चुनाव लड़ रही थी, तो इनका जो गठबंधन, इन्होंने जो सो कॉल्ड गठबंधन किया था, वो मन से नहीं था, जिसके कारण से आम आदमी पार्टी खुद भी अलग थलग और अकेली दिखाई दी।
Ram Pratap Singh, quite something. SP still continuing its leads from Uttar Pradesh. That must be heartening for sure. But this could also see reversals as BJP strongholds see the votes increasing in their favor again.
The trends are continuing to hold on, and that's very, very encouraging for us. That we've almost very close to the halfway mark, as I can see on your screen. And we stand vindicated where in this campaign, which we built up for this election in UP, we were fighting on issues on the ground. We were trying to bring to fore issues of talking about issues of unemployment. And also this whole thing about 400 par meant that probably somewhere the constitution was under threat. And this was also one of our poll planks, that we wanted people to understand that, and what BJP spokesperson just said now, that they want a very strong opposition. Well, coming from them, that's very, very encouraging.
Okay. And Swati Malik, do you want to very quickly respond?
Please, I couldn't hear clearly.
Swati Malik, the SP as well as Congress together managed to hold on to their leads when it comes to Uttar Pradesh early, but still.
See, please, the progress so far, and not just Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, it's totally, absolutely, the tables have completely turned. But even look at Maharashtra for that matter, look at Haryana for that matter, look at Karnataka for that matter. So wherever, Rajasthan for that matter, right? So wherever there was complete sweep by the BJP in 2019, and that is where we have been able to make a dent. Uttar Pradesh alliance is working very well, and as you can see very clearly, it has resulted in a positive outcome. Whatever was being said about the alliance initially, whether we'll be able to contest together, whether we'll be able to stay together till the end of the election, etc., is all being proved wrong now. So yes, we will be able to hold ground even better, and our lead is going to get better now in the next 1 hour, and I'm sure we'll discuss that again.
Okay, let's just look at the numbers, the early trends, before we just get the last comments. NDA still right now at 302. India Alliance at 211, others at 30. These are the initial trends. It's what? It's barely 3 hours?
Yes, barely, we still have another 2 hours.
2 hours since
counting starts at 8.
So it was 1 hour possibly.
I think we'll require another 2 hours to get a complete sense
because a lot of seats seem to be very close margins right now. So
no, even in UP at one point it appeared that the SP-led alliance was leading ahead of BJP. but now the figures have reversed a bit. I'm sure that, for the next 2 hours, they'll keep on vacillating from one side to the other. But the trend is being maintained that the NDA is nowhere near the 400 mark. Now, I think it is important to keep track that is the BJP on its own going to cross the 272 mark or not. That is something we have to start keeping an eye on. Because with the kind of numbers and the variation which is showing, BJP is going to be very close to either this side or that side of the magic mark.
A quick word on women.
Yes.
The record number of women that have voted in India. I think if you look at it, it was the last 3 elections, including this one, that has seen an increase in the number of women, particularly crossing men who have voted, in terms of the numbers of women who have been able to go and exercise their franchise vis-a-vis men. Is that telling? Is that telling that I got a sense that this possibly is one of the arenas where they are exercising their domain?
Well, it's been there for quite some time. We have been seeing, at least from the 1980s onwards, the elections we've seen, increased women participation, increased evidence of women voting separately from the men in the family, having a clear political opinion, not being very gullible. It would be very incorrect to say that women don't understand politics. I'm talking about the women who are in the rural area. They're as participative and they have a very strong voice of their own. That is not recognized by a society which is actually steeped in patriarchy. And I'm sorry to say, most of the political parties have also been steeped in patriarchy. The Women's Reservation Bill has been hanging on for so long and finally it was implemented. But yes, we do not have the promissory date yet on the bill. It still remains something, in the realm of future.
Look,
maybe a possibility.
The fact remains that political parties are increasingly realizing the importance of the women vote, which is why all schemes, whether it's by the centre or by various state governments, regional parties, are directed at women. So women are obviously a key constituency who are going out to vote, thinking on their own, seeing what's due to them, what they are getting, choosing to go and vote. That's why the turnout is increased.
Yeah, I just have one problem with the kind of schemes which are done in the name of women. They are all household, issues, gas is being supplied, or water and all, which should be actually the concern of everybody in the family.
But unfortunately, that's how our society is. It's the woman who has to bear the brunt of the lack of these.
I think interesting leads coming in. Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh and Dimple are leading. Dimple Yadav is leading in Mainpuri. That was expected. Those are the initial numbers that we are getting in. So heartening. In fact, we are going to be joined by Shreya Dondeyal at this point. Let's just quickly get in reactions and then Shreya Dondeyal takes over with our expert panel.
It's a democratic process of our election process, and I salute all the people who are involved in this electoral process for months together. They dedicated their time months together. So first of all, I think that all the politicians and all the leaders should express their confidence in this process. The whole world is appreciating the democratic process conducted in our the election process, which is democratically conducted in our country. So we have to express our belief and confidence on this process. If some of us express disbelief, people also will lose their confidence. So I am really very happy. People are very confident. Each and every voter, I thank them because they have taken responsibility to cast their vote, to fulfill their democratic right, and whatever may be the result, I salute the voters and we will carry our service activities further.
मुझे पक्का विश्वास है कि मतगणना के नतीजे इंडिया के पक्ष में होंगे, गठबंधन के पक्ष में होंगे, कांग्रेस के पक्ष में होंगे। और जो एक भ्रम प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 400 के पार और उनके तथाकथित गोदी मीडिया ने फैलाया है, वो भ्रमजाल कुछ ही देर में छट जाएगा। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि देश के मतदाताओं ने बदलाव के लिए वोट दिया है और कुछ ही क्षणों में मालूम हो जाएगा कि देश बदलाव की ओर जा रहा है।
ऑल विल बी एल और सब बढ़िया होगा। एग्जिट पोल्स तो ये जो है मैन्युफैक्चर्ड था, एक मीडिया द्वारा, गोदी मीडिया द्वारा, तो उसका तो कोई ऑथेंटिसिटी वैसे भी नहीं थी। जो आज रिजल्ट्स आएंगे, दैट विल बी द वर्डिक्ट ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, पीपल ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश, और उस पर हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। हमारे इंडिया गठबंधन के सभी लीडर्स ने अनुमानित किए हैं, उसके ऊपर हम खरा उतरेंगे, एंड वी शुड बी कंफर्टेबली इन अ पोजीशन टू फॉर्म द गवर्नमेंट।
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Good to see all of you once again. Today is the day